Hey guys, Mike here. So another volatile day in the market. The market giveth, the market taketh away. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll show you in the charts. It's not an accident. Of course, Nvidia will be reporting between 420, 430, I believe it is. And so we're going to see what the market thinks. Not about what they report, it's how the market wants to take it. Okay, and it really has all to do with that guidance. And so that's going to be key. We have seen stocks get punished severely, and if Nvidia does drop, well, guess what? Not going to be good, right? Because what was leading the way today? Told you yesterday, from the 1 minute all the way through up through the 2 hour. Again, oversold. You're getting a bounce back, all that fun stuff. And so, yes, that does happen. Okay, and so we'll see what the market is going to think of Nvidia earnings. You can see other stocks getting hammered. You saw your high flyers finally getting a bounce back with those charts yesterday, coming down to major discounts. I mean, down 40, 50% in just a matter of days. You're going to get a bounce. The question is it just an oversold bounce, or is it going to mean more? Nvidia won't let us know, of course, and the market won't let us know. So I can tell you, the consensus is this is going to be a dead cat bounce, so to speak, and then we're going to head and lower. That's what a lot of people think, and we'll see. The seasonality does play out that way. The other thing is, like we said, we're in an experiment, so every day is, Trump talking about tariffs. I think we put tariffs on somebody today, I guess. I don't know. I mean, Mexico and Canada's April 2nd. I thought it was supposed to be March, but I guess it's April 2nd now. We put 2 tariffs on somebody else. All that fun stuff. A lot of people still getting laid off the government. And so all these different things the market has to contend with and go, okay, I guess we'll see how we're going to digest all this. It's going to be a big thing. But we'll get into all the charts. I'll show you some. I'm not, when we have a big earnings or a big event, I don't do a whole big long video on a bunch of charts. I'll show you the ones I think have the most interesting setups. They could absolutely get a nice bounce if we start to see more positivity. But also, if they break these levels, well, it's going to get ugly, okay? And so, again, one thing I think we can all agree with, this can't keep going on. U.S. spends biggest share of income on debt since the early 90s, and we know why, right? Because the rates are through the roof. And so this is what we're having to fund. And so when you're trying to cut debt, this is why they're really trying to cut, and they're cutting blindly right now. Just lay everybody off you can. Don't worry about if they actually need it or not. Because if they can cut the debt, the 10-year will drop. And so far, the 10 years responded to that. It's either responded to that, the fact that they think the Fed maybe has things under control, or they're going to cut because the economy is getting weaker. Okay, I kind of covered that last night. And the market looked like this today when bulls were cheering, we're going to the moon. And then after lunch, no. took it all back and went red, and then started bouncing back at the very end of the day in the last 20 minutes. But again, when you look at this, these levels are on here. Those support levels were actually resistance yesterday, but because they gapped up overnight, especially NQ or QQQ this morning, then you can see it had to become support, and as long as those held, we were going higher, and that's what happened. They gapped up, and each one of those support levels got tested, and it just kept moving higher. It just kept stepping up on those support / and then once targets are hit, they become support and need to hold, basically. And so that's what happened. You can see how many times they got hit, held, bounced. That's that one right there. This one came up, it held again. So that one, and then took off right here, and then this started holding that target right there, came back down, hit another target, retested the target, went back up. And you see what happened at the top right here. About an hour and a half, we're just kind of sitting there, ranging at the top. What really happened here was something pretty key. And I'll show it to you in just a minute, but you can see once these levels started getting breached, it's like a waterfall, right? That's what happens. And then we got down to this last support level, and we held and then bounced from there at the very end of the day. But on NQ, it was the strongest, right? So you're looking at the strongest one, whether it's SPY, QQQ, you're looking at it as well. These are the futures. But if you look at this is prior day's high. Remember, always mark out prior day's high, prior day low, prior week high, prior week low, prior month high, prior month low. And usually you'll see, if you start seeing us wick above, right, and there's no candle closes above it, odds are we're going to get a pullback. Each time we wicked above this, you put it on like a 3-minute chart, you can see you got a 0.25% drop each time. And then finally, boom, down we went, okay? And so calls were outnumbering puts on the way up for the indexes, and all of a sudden puts started rolling in, and you got this cascade effect because we're still in negative gamma. That's what happens. Get these exacerbated moves. And it was like a 1.5% move very quickly. Now, looking at SPY, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because it will change. But got below the 100 again, regained the 100. So now we're below the 50. And if you look where it came up to the 50 moving average and mitigated that daily fair value gap and got rejected. Okay, so again, you got multiple things happening at the same time. But again, trying to hold that 100 moving average. It's a big gap down below if we get a sell-off for tomorrow. QQQ, what's it doing? It broke this trend line here going back to August, right? So it has to regain that, but it's still above the 100 as well. It closed above the 100. And so, you know, bulls want to see this get above the 50. So 520, 187, 522, somewhere in that area. That'll regain the trend line, regain the 50. So that's what bulls want to see happen in tech right now. So it's just a tech wreck at this moment. SMCI, I kicked myself. I literally had a daily calendar saying buy freaking call ops for tomorrow. I knew they were going to come out after hours with this stuff. And so they popped big time, 25% after hours last night, but again, held up. A lot of people took gains. So we'll see which path we're going to take on this. And remember, this is a real company. Supposedly they don't have to redo their numbers or anything. So, you know, they do bring in a lot of revenue. They do have a product that is needed. And so we're just going to see how much is priced in already or not. Now, Tesla, whoo boy, it's almost there, folks. I don't know if it's going to hit it. What do you think? Put in the comments. Is this going to the 200? Are we going to get it? And it just keeps moving down and down. It's, again, in that box. There's a gap below the 200. That's that election gap. And so it's giving back almost all the gains now. What is amazing, I mean, you pull out, you don't have to stop at the 200. Usually it'll actually dip below the 200, okay? And there's that gap right there. So that would make sense. But when you look at this thing, what's really crazy is I drew these fibs from the very top all the way down to, you remember when Tesla was going for $102? And this thing came down today off that and broke through the 50 fib, but it has retraced like 42%, I believe, of that whole move, which is just, I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about that, right? Oh my goodness. And you know, it's amazing how it runs up on hopes and dreams, and boy, how it runs down. I mean, it's one of the only mega caps that trades like a meme stock, for crying out loud. That's nuts. But again, we'll see. Let me know on the bottom if you think it's going to reach that or not. It's not far away. I mean, that would only be 3.5%, which is nothing. It was down what, 10% almost yesterday. And so I didn't see anything coming in the option market on this one. And the funny thing is, if Nvidia does start running, as I've showed you, they don't run together, right? Nvidia was having a good day today. And the better day it started having, the worst day Tesla started having, okay? Because, you know, Nvidia is the company that produces chips, right? There's no hopes and dreams to it. It actually backs up the numbers. And so, again, and boy, I tell you, if they don't roll out that Austin robo-taxi stuff in June, oh boy, watch out. But let me know if you're going to get there, because I know a lot of people, you can see the shelf right there, that would come in and buy for sure or start selling cash secured puts for sure, because the premiums are usually good on this. SOX was another one coming down this shaded area, so it needs Nvidia bad, right? If they run Nvidia down, this thing's coming past that shaded area and already broke the trend line. So not only broke it, but got rejected when it came back up. So that's another one to watch out for. Apple here, you can see Apple. Again, actually finally, stubborn it has been, started selling down today, got below the 50, bounced on this trend line. Are we going to stay in the channel? That's what we got to find out. Or are we going to mitigate this daily fair value gap and come down to the 100 moving average? And it does have support right there at that white line, right at the bottom where that daily fair value gap is, right around 236.89 right there. And so watch out for that one. You can see right there what was resistance, turn back and support, and all that fun stuff. And, you know, that's why you saw, like, it was crazy to me. Apple's going down with the market going up. That's because Microsoft, Nvidia, like, they were pulling their weight today. Actually, Microsoft actually turned around a little bit. So we'll see if that holds. Now, another one's going to be CrowdStrike. Bounced off this trend line, back in this shaded area, trying to turn it back into support like it did before. And so this is another one to watch out for. You've seen, like, just is the cybersecurity and the software stocks been getting hammered. SoFi is another one coming down this shade area right here. Well, support's bounced multiple times on this thing, set at the 100 moving average. This area needs to hold, okay, because there's not a whole lot of support right beneath this. And so that one needs to hold for sure. Depending on which swing low you're on, I took it down from the whole move, but even from that swing low, swing up, you're in the discount, but I was pulling mine from the entire move, right? When it came from $6 all the way to 18. And so we'll see if this is going to hold or not. Again, you know, it definitely needs to. So if tech continues to get wrecked, because you see and it needs to hold, but what do you see on the daily? Lower highs, but you don't see the lower low yet. It really fought hard to keep that. And so if we set the lower low, go ahead and buckle up. Last one here, Snow. It's going to report earnings after the bell. You can see it's right down that trend line. It goes all the way back to June 2022. That's where it got the bounce. That's what it's trying to hold. Last earnings, it gapped up huge. And so again, software stocks been getting beat down. So we're going to see if this one is going to respond and everything. It got up the golden pocket, started selling back down. And you look at a retrace on this going just from like the earnings gap right there. it's almost in a discount, but that trend line needs to hold. I mean, last time we broke it, you saw what happened, right? It went down major. So speaking of more earnings, we do have them tomorrow. Not as big as the day, obviously, but you got Norwegian Cruise Lines, and Cruise Lines have been doing good, shockingly. And then you got Soundhounds, a lot of people's favorites, Dale, high flyer, that is. Archer, Clover, some more high flying type of stocks and everything. So we'll see if they end up coming out. Archer, I think, believes the flying cars, if I remember correctly. And then you also have Open Doors. I can't imagine it's going to do good in a high interest environment, but we'll see. And then Thursday, you got preliminary GDP quarter over quarter. Unemployment came, so a lot of GDP data, and then pending home sales, natural gas, all that fun stuff. So buckle up. Let me know how you think Nvidia is going to do. This will be out after, of course, but I'm recording it before. Please hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Thank you for all the comments and everything. Think about signing up for the membership. Less than McDonald's combo, and I will see you guys tomorrow.